We just did our Game of Thrones after show yesterday. The episode I thought was fantastic. I'm really loving the series so far, but obviously I think one of the most memorable scenes of that episode that people are talking about an awful lot is the scene at Dragonstone. When you've got Daemon and Otto's, I wouldn't say armies, it's more like the Sharks and the Jets kind of meeting on the wall, the dragons show up. Oh my gosh. And of course, Game of Thrones shoots a lot of location in Europe. I was totally caught off guard by this. I knew that House of the Dragon was going to be using some virtual sets in their show. But we found out, if you could bring up that tweet, HBO put out this thing that shows they actually shot this, and Rhys Ifans is narrating over this. They actually shot the Dragonstone sequence in the volume. Now it's not the exact same one that Mandalorian uses. Warner Brothers built their own based on the same technology. So they licensed it out, built their own thing. And look at that. That looks like it's real. Even behind the scenes, that looks like it's real. That totally looks like they're on location somewhere. And Rhys Ifans said something really great. It's like, when you're actually out on a certain location, you want the sunset a certain way, well, then you got like 15 minutes to shoot it. Because then it totally changed. In here, it's everything. I got to tell you guys, I was floored when I found out that this scene was shot in a volume. Obviously, I knew some of the elements in it were probably CGI, but I thought for the most part, they were probably on location somewhere. When you looked at the landscapes and the sky, look at that shot. Like, I was floored by it. Christian, you had a chance to see this. You heard this in volume. What jumps into your head when you see that?
Well, the first thing that jumps into my head is Jonathan's got to check his notifications. It's driving me crazy. But besides that, the fact that you have the volume, and I think that what we have seen, I think the Mandalorian uses it very well. I think that in some cases, Star Wars relied on it a little bit too much, especially sometimes in Obi-Wan. But I think that if you can use it in a balance and you can use it the right way and find the right technique, the right form, and to shoot it that particular way, it's showing the possibility of what it really can do. And I think that even though people are like, people rely on it too much, yeah, but they have it. It's still a fresh technology. And as people start to master it, clearly,
it's getting better.
It's getting better and better, because this was, when you told me that, I was like, really? And then as you look at it, I can see it, and you can see how they're shooting it, and you have Rhys Ifans kind of going through it, and you're like, oh, that's fascinating. But I love the way that they used it. I love the fact that they're not relying on it, and they're using it when they need to. Certain things that they think, well, we can use the volume here, but let's use real location here and do that. A mix. Don't rely on the whole series on it, but a mix. And I don't know if Andor is using any of it. Probably.
They said they're not using it at all.
Right.
Yeah. Rob, what do you think?
Well, again, this shows it's all about planning and direction. Because if you look, what's really interesting is you've got big, wide establishing shots of Dragonstone, dragons in the air. But when the armies, when the two sides, when Daemon shows up and Otto is there, they're parked. They're parked in place, and there's a confrontation where they're still. So the camera is not moving around. They're not walking anywhere. So they can keep cutting to wide shots, and they can use, so you never know. You're completely fooled because you're not paying any attention. The background's the way it would look. It's out of focus because those guys are parked in place. And when they previs this, and however they decided to shoot this, because I'm sure this was all prevised, it was ingenious, because look at that. There's no volume. You've got a dragon flying, but when they've got the people there, but the people aren't moving. And it was a genius way to do it, because that's how you use the volume.
As opposed to Vader and Obi-Wan playing hide and go seek.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If people are moving around a lot, then the illusion is a little bit shattered. But this was, I don't know who directed this. It was Miguel Shapotnik or whatever.
It wasn't Matt Reeves, I can tell you that.
This was a genius piece of direction in terms of knowing how to use the volume effectively and using effects technology.
I agree. And the last thing on it is also going exactly what Rob just said, is that because that scene was so powerful, and because that scene, you're so focused on the actors and the dialogue and everything happening, that as all this amazing technical stuff, visual stuff is happening, you just accept it.
Yeah.
Because it blends into what's happening on screen, inside of the dialogue, inside of the characters. So it was really a perfect blend of all of it put together. I'm with you. I think the show is absolutely incredible thus far.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it it's the idea of mixing it.
Yeah,
they're using live shots, practical sets, and then mixing that stuff in like with the volume when you have to. Anyway, guys, questions for you. What do you think about that? I thought it looked spectacular. How did you feel about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this episode, Stamps.com. Guys, you know the holiday season has a way of sneaking up on us, and we are never as prepared as we think we are. And if you're a small business owner, you know how important it is to get ready for the insane holiday season. And even if you just got a lot of family or friends you're going to be shipping stuff to, now's the time to get ready. Luckily for us, Stamps.com has everything you need to make your life a whole lot easier. Because Stamps.com is your one-stop shop for all of your shipping and mailing needs. Get access to the USPS and UPS services you need to run your business right from your computer. Because with inflation on the rise, every single dollar counts. Protect your margins with major discounts on USPS and UPS rates up to 86% off. Stamps.com offers a stress-free solution for everyone. Use Stamps.com to print postage wherever you do business. All you need is a computer and a printer. And if you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule it through your Stamps.com dashboard. So get out ahead of the holiday chaos this year. Get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with the promo code CAMPEA for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and enter the code CAMPEA.